Hi families, I'm Beth and I'm the Executive Director of the Family Recovery Foundation. We're on Module 12 today. I'm here with Anthony. Do you want to say hi? Yeah, there he is. My producer, and I'm really excited to be with you guys today. This is our last module and I'm really blessed to be sharing this concept with you. We're talking about just for today. So we have sure gone through a lot of curriculum and a lot of information. We started with what is addiction. We've gone through codependency. We spent a lot of time in boundaries. And then we started understanding what is the addict actually going through, what to expect when they come home, how are we going to get through those really difficult seasons. And now we're just kind of landing. It's as if the plane is landing, we're coming down, and we're really coming back to self here. We're really recognizing that our recovery, we can take all that information and recognize that our recovery is very personal and very sacred. And as Al-Anon teaches this concept of just for today, it brings us back to the idea of presentness. One of the things in my own mental health recovery that was important to me and was, I would say, a very pinnacle season for me of shift, and I would say even awakening, was really recognizing that I had all these desires in my heart of wanting to, from a spiritual component, be anxious for nothing. I wanted to not worry about tomorrow, but in all things trust in the Lord. I wanted to think upon things that are true and right and pure and noble. I wanted all those things. I wanted the spirit. I wanted the scripture to be made manifest in me. It was my deep desire. I wanted all those things. I wanted to trust. I wanted to offer things to my higher power. I wanted to let go. And I just didn't know how. I was too broken. I was too fragile. There was too much pain, literally, too much betrayal for most of my life. Until I started to move into the understanding that there's a faith and then there's works. There's our discipline and then there's our desires. We can have a desire to be in just today. We can, and just like our qualifiers too, our qualifiers are being told the same thing. They're being told just do today. And we're being told just do today, just for today. But I would wonder, and have had the experience of having that deep desire to want to do that, but not being able to. And I'd really like to offer you some skill sets today that are very pragmatic, very straightforward, very simple, so that we can take those beautiful, I think you guys have heard me talk about, I think our desires are very holy. I think they're there on purpose. I think they're calling out to us to move into reverent submission that God is on the throne and he's bringing healing. Now, what is that matched with? That's matched with our faith, but is there some kind of discipline that can come alongside that? Are you catching that? Our desires matched with discipline, I would wonder, can bring us to the fruit of our presentness. So what does that mean? It means that we want these things, and what are we doing about it? Do you hear that? We want these things, and what are we doing about it? Are there disciplines? Are there practices that we're doing every single day that can bring us into the present moment? When we're in the present moment, our mind, some studies show that we'll be thinking about 60 to 70,000 thoughts a day. And some studies then say that the majority of those thought processes are not offering us anything, that's just merely chatter. Okay? So we're autonomic beings, and in that autonomic state that we're living in, I'd wonder if we're attaching to that chatter. And I'd wonder if we paid attention to the chatter, if the chatter would demonstrate fear of tomorrow and the betrayal of yesterday. I would wonder if we stopped and really observed our thought processes, especially those of us who are family members who have been through the challenges of addiction and mental health. I would wonder if the majority of our thoughts are really perseverating on yesterday. All that happened, all the pain. I'd wonder if we're attached there. And I would wonder if we're not doing that, if we're thinking about the fear of tomorrow. I have so many families on our Fix Your Family group that say to me, I should be celebrating. My loved one got 30 days. My loved one got 60 days. And I can't even muster up the energy because I'm so afraid of tomorrow. You hear that? And I want you to know that would make sense to me because you've seen it and you've been there. And we're asking you to just do today. So how do we do that? We're learning how to get into the present moment by pausing the thought processes from yesterday and tomorrow. So there's some studies that show that one of the leading modalities to help us get into the present moment, there's two things that mainly come to mind, is meditation and breath. Okay? So meditation and breath, and I'm really excited because I want to offer you just the skill set of a 2-minute meditation. Did you know that? Anthony, did you know that? Did you know you can just do a 2-minute meditation? Yeah, you can plop yourself down on the floor when you wake up in the morning. I'm even okay if you guys get your coffee, just to let you know. Go make your coffee. This doesn't have to be some big scary thing. Go grab some coffee, put a blanket on the ground, put some music on, sit down on the ground, and just breathe. You can, on your phone, say, hey Siri, set timer for 2 minutes. 2-minute meditation. I'd rather you do something consistently than have one big meditation once a month. I'd rather you be on the ground for 2 minutes every single day as a disciplined practice and to start your day that way. I like the morning. I like right when I wake up. There's some studies that show that those brain waves are very fertile. So that's a really nice time in that kind of, you know, how you're just kind of like waking up and you're not fully attuned yet. That's a really great time to observe your breath, sit down, light that candle, and just draw awareness to the inhale and to the exhale. And the consistency of that. What it does is there's an unhooking of the neuroplasty, and we can create spaciousness from thoughts. In essence, what it does when you draw awareness to your breath, it pauses the thinking pattern. And what happens when we pause that thinking pattern? See that neuroplasty, it unhooks. The thinking pattern gets paused, and I'm not thinking about yesterday and tomorrow. I'm actually just being. You hear that word, being. B-E-I-N-G. We're just being. When you draw awareness to your breath, you're just being. And just for today, to me, kind of represents just coming to a state of being. And I would wonder if in that state of being, we can really recognize that maybe, just maybe, all things are coming together for my good. I think it's really difficult when we're not in a state of being and this thing's moving really fast and we're catching attention to all those thoughts and drawing more thoughts upon thoughts. But when we come to our breath as a practice, I think we can find our way to the present moment. I want you to know personally, I would say it saved my life. Getting on the ground every day. I made a commitment for like a couple years to just be consistent with it. And then early on, something kind of happened where I didn't want it to just be 2 minutes. So I kept saying 2 more minutes, 2 more minutes, 2 more minutes. Because what happened is when this got quiet, I finally stepped into my first introduction to peace. And I knew it, right? I know you know it. I know you know it. Anthony's a wonderful spiritual person, and we all know we've got this deep spiritual knowing in our hearts that there's got to be more to life than this. And I would wonder if we find that when we're just being. There's also some thoughts that it's in the spaciousness that we can find God's presence. You hear that? And if this gets quiet, we might be able to get attuned to our higher power's love, to his grace, to his direction. We want that, right? We want to have a spiritual experience with God. We want to be led by him, guided by him. We want to be an overflow and an offering to our loved ones around us. I would wonder if this thing and its rapid fire is inhibiting us from that. So I really invite you to a 2-minute meditation and the opportunity to encounter a place of just being. For those of you fast movers, and for those of you who maybe don't have 70,000, maybe you have 170,000 thoughts a day. I don't even know if that is possible, but Anthony doesn't either. I don't know if that's possible, but for those of you really active thinkers and your bodies are activated, the body will respond to the mind. So an overactive mind creates a very adrenaline-based body. I really recommend breath work. Something as simple as sitting on the ground. If you feel highly activated and meditation has just become very difficult for you, I recommend breathing in and breathing out. And do that 3 times 10. Breathe in and out, and do it like a structured in and out. Don't take a pause at the top. Just breathe in and out. Push your belly out while you do it. Take a breath after you've counted to 10, and do that 3 times. You might feel a little tingly after that, and that's okay. Talk to your doctor. I'm not a doctor. Find out if your doctor feels okay about you doing breath work. But if you get the okay and you find yourself to a breath work, once you get done with that breath work, I would really imagine, I would love for you to reach out to me and let me know how that is. I would imagine you have found your way to stillness. And that breath, that rapid inhale and exhale, I think is really going to kind of like quiet that mind and get those thoughts regulated. Once you're meditating, once you're practicing breath, once you're walking, once you're exercising, once you're journaling, once you move into your sacred practices, I am so confident that you are going to find your way to the present moment. And once you do that, I also have a feeling then that you can just do today. I really do. I really think that those of us in this collective community, gaining the support of one another, moving in our disciplines matched with our desires. Do you hear that? Community, connection, our desires, those God-given desires of what we know life can be, matched with what are we doing on a Tuesday at 8 a.m.? What are we doing on a Saturday morning? And being in an active recovery treatment plan, I have no doubt. The science backs it. It's God's promises. I'm confident we can find our way to what I always say is a life within this life. And I'm just going to be praying for you. Anthony's going to be praying for you. Our board, our families, all of us are going to continue to petition for your healing and your peace, that you would come into deep attunement of God's love and care for you and your families. We care about you guys. Thanks for being along this journey with all these modules, and feel free to watch them again. I hope the education has blessed you, and we'll see you next time. Bye.